This is the first full body tempered glass screen protector I have ever seen, and it is for the Samsung S6. Now, tempered glass screen protectors generally will have an edge left open, and there's a couple reasons for that. For one thing, for certain phones that have a subtle curve to it, like the iPhone 6, you need to actually have it slightly smaller than the actual body so it would fit flushly on that slightly curved surface. And there's another reason. Screen protectors actually come in different thicknesses. This one, particular one, is actually on the thinner side, 0.19 millimeter thickness. They do go up to, and quite commonly, to 0.33 millimeters. Now, we're talking in small fractions, but those small little amounts can really play havoc with certain phone cases. So if you allow an edge, you're pretty much assuring a universal phone case fit, because some phone cases will extend further out over the edge than others, and some will actually have, well, zero allowance to allow for a screen protector, while others will give a little bit. So just giving that little open edge does allow greater flexibility for phone cases. Now, with a much thinner thickness like this, 0.19 millimeter thickness, it shouldn't prove to be an issue at all, and it's beautiful. Now, first off, I have to say, really comment, this was some of the prettiest packaging I've seen for any tempered glass screen protector, and I've gone through a lot of them from different phone models. Everything's all kind of spread out, but I was actually like, wow, is this a tempered glass screen protector or what? It comes in this box and it slides out and it's all tucked away in yet a separate box. This is a front cover right here. And you open this up, and it's got the actual bits separated in two completely sealed packages. I was like, wow! One, of course, was the glass film itself, and then the other one was the installation tools, which came with a little surface sticker, which 99.99% of the time I never use. This is at 0.01%, and I'll get to that. So I did use it. Thank goodness it was there, because it saved me. So with other installation tools, such as a little microfiber cloth, I use my own on that, and a clean wet wipe. So it comes with that. And also in the tempered glass film package came a couple of these. These are actually standard TPE, I suppose, back protectors that you actually install on the back if you want to help protect your back. Now, these are actually significantly smaller than the foam body itself. In fact, I briefly put one on and I decided to take it off. It still has its top film on, but yeah, I put it on and it's nice and all that. Just to give you an idea, though, this one actually does leave quite an edge around there, which is fine. You know, it helps a little bit to cover up, protect from scratches or what have you. And it's totally optional. But if you do decide to use this, and you still have your little sticker on the back, take that off. Take that off, because when you put the little film protector on the back, that causes a big air bubble. So take that off. I didn't, and that was the other reason why I took this off, because I totally forgot about it. I put it on there and ended up being like, oh, okay, ugh. So take that off. Now, clean your screen is your number one thing. Always clean, clean, clean. Make sure it's completely clean, and also in a no dust area. Now, if you have a dusty house or a dusty work environment, go into your bathroom, run the shower with hot water for a couple minutes. Just enough to get a little humidity in there to make things drop. I decided to do it out here because it's been pretty humid here in South Florida and what have you. And fortunately, I got new fans installed, and I apparently got little tiny dust mites floating around. So this is where I ran into trouble. Now, I cleaned my screen, made it all nice, perfect, lovely, peeled off the back of this and applied it very clean. And in fact, it was a flawless application, except, well, this is one of those tempered screens that as soon as it makes contact with the surface, no matter how lightly you place the whole thing down, as soon as it makes contact, it wants to adhere. And unfortunately, I was lining up on the bottom, and I was not lining up at the top, because I was just making sure that was lined up in. As soon as I put it down, it adhered across. I recommend take this to heart. Don't start at the bottom like that. The first time you put it on, line up like via the forward-facing camera. Line it up by that. If you get that lined up, make sure you have some good overhead lighting so you can see clearly. If you line that up, everything else should work out perfect. Because, and this is a universal rule with all screen installations, whether it's tempered glass or plastic, what have you. Universal rule, your first time is always going to be your best. From there on out, if you have to redo it, it's going to stink. Yes. So I was actually I had the cover slightly off on the forward-facing camera. Now, I don't use a forward-facing camera, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so of course I had to peel it up. Now, the nice thing about tempered glass as opposed to the standard plastic ones, like the one that comes further back, they are easy to peel up. Yeah, you just bloop, the whole thing comes up, doesn't leave any residue, doesn't leave any stretch marks, the whole 9 yards. That's why I'll never go back to plastic. They are easy. However, inevitably, every single time you have to reapply, there's always that one stray little bit of whatever's. Now, you notice I am wearing latex gloves. That's another thing I recommend, because the last thing you want is that last second as you apply it, fingerprint just getting underneath. You want to really avoid that. Avoid the fingerprint smudge on the adhesive side. So I do recommend wearing gloves. So I pulled it up to readjust it, and sure enough, that little bit of just one little thing flew in there at the last second, and all right, now I can't. I have to try to clean it, and each time, oh my goodness. However, this is where the little sticker came into play. Now, this sticker is actually generally used to, pick up dust off the surface screen if you want before application, but this thing is also great if you have to do a second application, because this will pick up all those little bits or what have you that might get onto the underside of the protector itself. And that's what I use to save this, because each time another little dust mite will fly in, or a tiny little cat hair, I live with cats, will suddenly get stuck. This is what saved me. Finally, I pulled off the whole thing and just went to town with it. Cleaned off that underside, cleaned it off, made sure this part was totally clean, cleaned it off, put it down. And even then I still I did get a couple air bubbles, but fortunately with this, once again, unlike the plastic ones with the air bubbles, I just kind of quickly lifted it up, got the air bubbles to disappear, put it back down, and it smoothed itself out, because it applies itself from the inside out. Same thing on this side. So in the end, I did win. I did succeed, because I was actually kind of stressing out. Because I was like, no, I was really looking forward to the screen. I don't want this to be all messy. And I've had experiences like that. Yes, I have. But in the end, beautiful. Full body screen protector. Camera is perfect. Even though I don't ever actually use that forward-facing camera, that's perfect. It's just nice and responsive. And I'm happy. I'm very, very happy. So in spite of my trials or travails, 5 stars, because in the end, like I said, I won. And hopefully my tips here will help you avoid it. And I'll reiterate, the number one thing is, I would say, line up via the forward-facing camera as your point. Because basically, if you can get that little round inset over the camera, everything else should fall into place. And even if you don't get it right, you can still adjust it, lift it up, or have you. Just be sure you're in a dust-free environment, like a bathroom with the shower running, or if all else fails, down the end, don't forget the little included sticker. And wear gloves. Alright guys, you have yourself a great one.